Lately, we've received a lot of questions about dealing with the DC DMV, so we're going to tackle a couple of them today. First, from T. Allen Jefferson, when will the Washington DC DMV moratorium on late fees end? We reached out to the DC Department of Motor Vehicles for an answer over the phone, but couldn't connect with an agent on the line. What we did find, though, on the DC DMV's website was a service update dated June 19, 2020. Part of that release explains, quote, DC DMV has extended the expiration date for all documents expiring March 1st through the duration of the public health emergency, including driver's licenses, identification cards, vehicle registrations, inspections, ticket payments, and ticket adjudication responses until 45 days after the health emergency concludes. Plus, all tickets will remain in their current status for the duration of the public health emergency, and no additional penalties will be added during this period. So, based on the DMV's own release, the moratorium on late fees will continue until 45 days after the public health emergency ends. Based on the mayor's orders in May, that's currently authorized to go until July 24th, which, barring any further changes of that timeline, would make early September when these expiration dates kick back in, though people are still encouraged to pay any fees online when they can. Meanwhile, the answer above directly ties into our second question from Hugh Goodman Jr., which says, I mailed in paperwork and a check for my car registration and zone sticker, which expired June 27th. It's been 2 weeks. Is the DMV open? Well, the DC DMV is technically open, but as of June 23rd, as part of Phase 2 of the district's reopening plan, it remains operational, but most necessary services will be provided online. Additionally, according to the previously mentioned service update, all service centers, adjudication services, and the Brentwood Commercial Driver's License Office will operate on an appointment-only basis. Plus, quote, all driver's licenses, vehicle registrations, and vehicle inspections scheduled to expire have been granted a waiver without penalty until DC DMV reopens at full operating capacity. So, considering that, and the note that expiration dates have been extended for all documents expiring March 1st through the duration of the public health emergency, the expiration date of June 27th falls under this limited exemption. And don't forget, you can always send your questions to us at the Q&A, and we'll get you the answers. Just text the number that's on your screen. That's 202-895-5599. Reporting from home, I'm Gio Insignares, WUSA 9.